spent a long time in it, we were devoted, and then we decided to go through the program, to put some young women through the program that we went through in order to become sisters. And oh boy, was it an experience of about 40 young ladies, putting them through a couple months of activities and dealing with all of their pains, struggles, strifes, and trials that they put us through. And somehow, Rekia grabbed her broom of anger, of fear, of anything that they handed to us, and she drove it out, and she made it through. Miss Beverly is determined and strong. She graduated from New Smyrna Beach High School in 2004. She graduated from Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University in 2009, and she's here today, an educator who I still call for inspiration at times. Miss Beverly is an inspiration. She's a phenomenal educator. She's a genuine friend. She's a giver. She is Miss Danielle, Miss Rekia Danielle Beverly, my friend and a wonderful woman. Please give her a round of applause as she comes back.
Privilege to stand before you as recipient of the Chisholm High School Alumni Scholarship in 2004. To Mr. Mike Williams, Mrs. Frida Mitchell, all Chisholm High School alumni, and each elected officer in your respective places, thank you for selecting me to be your keynote speaker for this occasion. To my family and friends that travel near and far, thank you for supporting me. And a special thank you to Ms. Daphne Williams, my friend, sister, rites of passage chair, colleague, former neighbor, and fellow rattler for that lovely introduction. As nervous as she was when I first asked her to introduce me, I believe she did an amazing job, just like I knew she would. As I began to explore what approach I want to take when preparing for this occasion, I reflected upon my commencement speaker in 2009, Ms. Soledad O'Brien, and how eloquently she encouraged my graduating class at FAMU. And then I pondered my youth sermons at Mount Olive Primitive Baptist Church. After many days and nights trying to decide on the best technique in accomplishing this task, I remembered an assignment my professor, Dr. Ansley, assigned in teaching reading in elementary schools. The assignment included me studying numerous hours, preparing a PowerPoint presentation, and the most important part, the student that received the highest grade on the presentation was exempt from the final. I remember studying for hours and editing PowerPoints daily. To make a long story short, I was indeed exempt from the final. I had received the highest grade on the presentation. I took that lesson learned and had an epiphany, an aha, a light bulb moment, as teachers would say. I decided I would study, research the thing, just like I did in my class to pass the assignment. I looked at the thing saved in my email from Mr. Mike Williams and started dissecting it, each word at a time. With research and studying, I discovered that reclaiming, empowering, and celebrating the legacy of Chisholm High School has a deeper meaning than what meets the eye. Reclaiming is defined as to bring into or return to a suitable condition for use as cultivation or habitation. In layman's terms, it's to make new again. The definition of reclaiming brought about another word that sparked my interest, cultivate. The meaning of cultivate is development, especially through education, training, culture, or sophistication, especially social refinement. It is important for the Chisholm High alumni and community to continue to develop and build New Smyrna through education, training, and social refinement. Just as a seed is planted, it is cultivated with love, nourishment, life, and time. Once it is given those four basic things, it blooms into the most beautiful, vibrant sunflower that anyone has ever seen. The same should be applied to our community, the roots that lie here, and the blossoming sunflowers that we have yet to see. Again, after researching, I discovered Webster's dictionary defines empowering or empower to equip or supply with an ability. Synonyms for empower: to encourage, support, to give a thumbs up, On the other hand, an antonym for empower is to discourage. Just like the sunflower seed, are you cultivating and empowering the seed that you planted? An article in Life Optimizer, Personal Growth and Effective magazine by Donna Luthama shared 50 little things you can do to empower people or water that seed that you planted. To illustrate, give compliments, listen, mentor, and to be sincere, just to name a few. Popular songs such as Happy Birthday, sang by various artists, and Cool in the Gang Celebration encourage the world to celebrate, to engage in festivities. Will Celebrate being a part of tonight's theme, smiling, laughing, telling jokes, and reminiscing about Chisholm High School would be appropriate. Even though I wasn't a part of the great times you all shared, I can see the pride when you wear your purple and gold shirts with the Chisholm High Wildcat logo, hear the funny stories, and feel the love you all share for one another. In order to ignite the spark and reclaim, make new again, cultivate to develop, empower to encourage, and to celebrate, engage in festivities, all these things must be applied in order to continue the legacy of Chisholm High. When I started researching each word in the theme, I was most excited to find great leaders to illustrate legacy. By definition, legacy means anything handed down from the past. I needed to know more about the legacy here in New Smyrna. So I contacted Mr. and Mrs. Harold to tour the Black History Museum in order for me to gain more understanding about Black history in New Smyrna Beach. I discovered just as I went on a mission to learn more, I learned that Mrs. Harold also did the same thing. After moving to New Smyrna Beach, she went downtown to find more information about the Black community. With no information there, she reached out to the community, which then led her to writing newspaper articles in the most widespread section read by the Black community, the taproom section. I remember walking through the museum a few years ago during the Black Heritage Festival, just glancing over pictures and reading a few captions here and there. This was a little different for me. I started to value the city I live in a little more. Just not New Smyrna Beach, but west side New Smyrna Beach. The word legacy permeates through the museum. As a late Mr. Alonzo Babe James picture hangs in the museum, there's a great legacy that he left behind, such as the hundreds of lives he's touched by being an educator, mentor, Chisholm High School athletic director, head football, basketball, baseball, and track coach. And the park that my church's feeding ministry serves meals out of is named after the late Miss Lydia Pettis. She helped the community then by going door to door asking the people in the neighborhood to donate Christmas presents in order for families to have a wonderful holiday. Her legacy is still being honored. She is still serving the community, and her love for children still remains, with children playing in the park daily, named after her, left in her legacy. At the most appropriate time in the technology world, Facebook, a social networking website, launched a group entitled, You Know You're from New Smyrna Beach If. I joined the group to walk down memory lane and to enjoy all the comments being posted. The comments made me smile and laugh, and I want to share a few with you. I do not know a lot of the people that wrote the messages, but it proves that the definition of legacy proves to be true. Anything handed down from the past. To begin with, a lady by the name of Karen Garrison wrote, what was the custodian's name in Edgewater Elementary in the late 70s? He was African American and he taught girls softball. Danielle McGinnis replied, his name is Mr. Gopher Mitchell. My 3 kids love him and respect him. I went to that school when I was there. A comment was also made about Mr. Chanel Mitchell, known as a teacher that would walk into the cafeteria and you wouldn't hear a pin drop. A gentleman by the name of Marty Snegg remembered Mr. Babe James as a coach, and he noted he was a man above men, someone to look up to during the trying times of immigration in the late 60s. Jim Lucas wrote, how about Mrs. Davis, the kindergarten teacher? She taught me then, taught my children. She was a great woman and teacher. I remember her yellow Volkswagen Bug, too. I thought that was the coolest car ever. Linda Carson shared her experience about Miss Helen Wadley, how she encouraged her to sing in the youth choir. Amanda Jones mentioned Mrs. Taylor, Morrell, Mitchell, Blackwell, and how they kept her in line at the daycare on Dutch Street. Benjamin Walker stated, if you're male and Mr. Manuel cut your hair,
Female too.
Melody Collins wrote, I remember Pop from Faulkner. He never yelled. He was sweet. Always had a smile on his face. I'm glad to hear he is retired and hope it's a blessing to him.
Pop.
Jerika Bryant wrote, Miss Blake's piano lessons and recitals. Blaine Campbell wrote, eating good barbecue from J.Y. Jackson. Felicia Mitchell Davis wrote, everyone in the neighborhood came out to play and watch softball. J.B. Bragg used to say, hey, you're out of there. Lisa Mitchell wrote, Mr. Vern Brown, who sold sodas in his mechanic shop. Minister C.J. Haynes wrote, if you rode bus 28C to Repatillo, driven by Brenda Jones. Michael Woolard wrote, when Mr. Jimmy Lee and Mr. Hill came looking for the football players for Pop Warner and took them all to practice in the back of the truck, and Mr. Cho Kane's taking time out to coach baseball, and Big Pop coaching basketball, we had a few good men in the tank. Almeda Taylor wrote, how about Miss Anna Wesley, Little Miss Ebony, also Miss Anna with the community choir, I love her. The comments that were posted on the site are just a small example of the seeds that you planted. It's the beginning of leaving a great legacy. To the scholarship recipients, remember the community that cultivated, empowered, and celebrated you, because you will also have a great opportunity to leave a legacy. In closing, just as you planted a seed, whether you mentor, have a grandchild, or a godparent, the knowledge that you planted will develop over time, along with encouragement, empowering your seed to be the best he or she can be, and celebrating your seed's great accomplishment with each step they take. Then with that combination, you will leave your legacy. Thank you.